And I think
Yeah,
they're probably undervalued. And even the way that a CV works hasn't changed in what 30, well, when did I graduate? 1991. The CVs I get are the exact same format as what I was doing all those years ago. Surely something in the world would move on. Why don't people, you know, record a mini podcast series and submit that as their CV, or do a video of themselves, or do a little documentary about um, something that they're passionate about. If somebody sent me something like that saying, here's something that I've thought about in your industry and I'd love to work in your company, I'd be blown away by that. But amazingly, people still send a CV saying, that it's obviously not even personalised. And funny
yeah,
enough, uh, you know, uh, uh, if somebody makes a real effort, then I make an effort to reply. But if it's just something that's coming off the cuff and they've obviously just done copy and paste, I'm not going to answer that, and they're not going to get anywhere.
yeah. I would kind of like to think that it's slightly different in the creative industry,
It's
just
not.
because no,
No.
not at all.
No. Well,
Because
we're in the creative industry. We're in the media.
yeah, I
Um,
know it's a shame to sort of. It's kind of ironic that you're in a creative industry and you're selling yourself on an A4 bit of paper. It's
yeah.
kind of it's strange, but I think I talked about them earlier. Social Chain, they had an application once, and their application form was basically a Lego building of their interior
That's
office,
brilliant. Hmm.
and it had everything from the blue slide in the office to uh, the MD and all the other characters and stuff.
Hmm.
And in the middle was just the USB of the portfolio or something like that. But
Well, surely
it's
you would think it would, yeah, have a little extra person that they didn't recognise. Who's that? Oh,
yeah.
that's me. Yeah, I mean, I've seen there are some brilliant ones done. I know that. I mean, there was, do you know the Fearless Girl statue? Um, it was in New
No.
York at the bottom Broadway outside our office for a while, and it's a bronze statue of a young girl standing in front of the charging bull at the bottom Broadway. And it
Okay.
received a lot of media attention. It was done as a promotion by, I think, McCann's. Anyway, what a candidate for a role basically did that thing where you cover these people that do the statues for tourists. They cover themselves in spray paint and they
Oh
stand
yeah,
still and
yeah.
those things. Yeah, basically made themselves up as the fearless girl and stood outside the office of the agency that she wanted to work for. And so those, they do happen, but I don't
That's
understand
awesome.
why more people aren't doing that, even for not creative jobs. Just do something that shows your passion, and that really, really will capture the attention. Um,
But again, that might fall into the hands of the people who work in education, because at the end of the day, those are the guys who are sort of releasing their students out into the big world. If that, I guess they should be the ones saying, you need to brand yourself and you need to really sell yourself when you leave. You don't just you know be handing out A4 CVs.
yeah, yeah.
But it's there was another application. I can't remember who it was for or where I've seen it, but someone had wrapped a USB around I don't know whether it was basically an owl. I think it was an owl or some sort of bird, and they wrapped the USB around the foot of the bird, and they sent it through the window of the office,
Wow.
and it landed on someone's shoulder or something. It sounds made up. It sounds like something in a
Yeah.
film, but
Some
I'll have to
people are quite
Google it.
scared of birds. I wouldn't like a bird landing on my shoulder, I don't think. If you've ever had
Yeah,
a
if you
bird
had
came down your chimney and got stuck in your house, as I have, it's pretty. The bird gets very panicky. It's not easy. So I'm not sure that's quite risky. Um,
yeah, that's true. And then yeah, you've got to worry about other things if birds start flying around in the office.
yeah, I think
That's true.
one of the things that I wish I'd thought about in my career was that somebody once said to me, or I wrote, "Oh yeah, well you're the managing director of yourself," and I don't think people necessarily think of themselves as their own mini business, but they are, or
Mm.
they should. So, what's in a business? What is it that the business does? What does it produce? How does it service its customers? How does it market itself? How does it get paid? Um, so if you think of yourself as a mini business, then I think that would, a business would never send out something like a CV, as a marketing promotion, or well, maybe they would, but I don't think it would get them very far, because nobody's really that interested in the history of a business. They're interested in what can that business do for me? How can it help me in my private life or in my business life? And I think everything that you need to do that exists now. You know, you can have your own channels, you can have your own brand personality.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's this fear or lack of confidence some people have when they're promoting themselves, and I think there's also a worry that getting shut down and not getting the response they want is going to further damage their confidence, when in fact it's probably going to do the opposite, you know, long term, if you look at sort of self-building and stuff. But I guess again it comes down to risks, and like you mentioned in your TED talk, not being afraid to question if it's something that you're doing wrong too.